Come into the frame.
I'm in frame.
In frame.
I'm in frame.
Am I in focus? I think so. It's on my face. Yep, it's on me.
We tech good. Welcome to our podcast / live. We're going to do things a little bit differently today.
What are we doing?
I think we've had heaps of new followers and we've had heaps of new people to our page and our social media. So we'd like to do a little bit of a get to know you, get to know us.
Oh, well, what are we going to do?
I think we should ask each other random questions.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about this.
Oh no.
That's why I've got my questions ready. Who's going first?
Do you want to rock, paper, scissors it?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
1, 2, 3. Oh.
Okay.
So what are you going, first or second?
I'll go second.
Okay, so you're getting the first question. Yep. Oh, here we go. I wonder what it is.
I'm going to come back on screen a bit.
Still in. All right. So what is the one thing you wish you knew when you started taking photos?
Oh, that sometimes you can take the prettiest photos, but you can't always make people happy, even with a pretty photo.
Can you elaborate on that more?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll walk away feeling like I've done an absolutely cracker of a gallery and I'm personally really happy with the photos, and for whatever reason the client will find one or two things out of 2,000 photos and that will be the absolute biggest deal for them, and they're not always very nice in how they say it.
Yeah, well, that's quite a rarity, I'd say. Like most of the time people are happy with what they get, wouldn't you say?
But it's something I wish I knew when I started, because I went into it with the assumption that if the photos are pretty and they look good, people will be happy. But I think it's more of a learning process for me that you can't make everyone happy, and that for whatever reason, whether people have stuff going on in their own lives and have their own issues, you can work yourself to the bone and do an amazing job, run an amazing wedding, and some people for whatever reason will still not be happy.
I definitely agree with you. Like, I think when we very started, we were using like the highest res of camera, and it was what I learned was that it's more about capturing the moments, capturing memories rather than looking for the highest editorial quality of photo. But yeah, I know what you mean. If we missed, Auntie Olga
scratching her
nose or something in the corner.
And I'm saying you could have an absolutely bomb gallery. Like the couple's photos could be amazing, everything could be amazing, and there'd just be that one or two photos, and for whatever reason, they will just kick your bum all the way to town over that. And a lot of times it's photos that we didn't know about previously, so we're not mind readers. And so, if I could go back and tell my younger self when we're starting, I would say have a thick skin about it, because it has been a journey for me personally. It's been a hard thing to journey through, and I think quite often you and I have had those moments of wanting to walk away from what we do, just because of, not so much because we don't like taking photos, but because of people's reaction and how they deal with things with that, and learning to become stronger and more immune to that has been a big journey for us.
I think what we've realised as well, it's a hard industry to be in.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's very fine margins between getting it right and messing it up. In terms of the client's view.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to, I think another lesson then we've learned is setting expectations early on. So all of our team now ask, what are the absolute non-negotiable photos that you have to have in your gallery, that when you open it up that you want to see? And so we're putting the onus back on the client a lot more to tell us what they want to see, rather than us shooting our shot list and then having to deal with the after effects of missing a key photo that we didn't know that we had to shoot. So I guess in a way it's made me a little bit jaded, but not bitter, wiser and stronger.
Next question.
It's my turn.
Oh, don't you want my next one?
No, I thought we'd take turns.
Oh, all right. Well, you've got to hold it then.
Okay.
Because you're interviewing me.
Okay. So my next question. Black or white or colour, and why?
Yeah, I think black and white. It's just.
It's a vibe.
I don't like that word. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
I don't know what it is, but it's just that. I think you made a good point. Is that a black and white photo is timeless with style.
Yeah. It doesn't age.
You can look at it in 50 years' time and think, "Wow, that's an amazing photo."
Yeah. Here's one we prepared earlier.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Janice and Hamish.
That one's gone a bit brown and white, hasn't it? I don't know what it is. I'll have to sort that paper
It's because
out.
I printed it on our cheap paper.
So I think quite simply, black and white, and for the reason being it's timeless.
I agree. Okay, you're
That's it. That was quick, wasn't it?
That was quick.
Didn't waffle on too long, did I?
No, not with me.
All right. Oh, you're going to like this one.
Okay.
So, how did you get good at photography?
By making mistakes. Honestly, I second shot for so long because I lack the confidence to, because I was scared. And I think I second shot about, 150 weddings with you. And that gave me the safety and the space to make mistakes. And I remember when I first started, after I did all my training and everything, and Alex would look at my photos and he'd be like, it's out of focus. It's this, it's that. And I would, every wedding I'd look at it and go, my next wedding, I'm not going to do that. how do I change it? How do I fix it? And I would go into that wedding going, okay, right, I'm not going to make that same mistake again. And do you remember when I started, I would overshoot. I'd walk away with about 6,000 photos.
Yeah. And that was partly my fault because we used to have these cameras. They were sports cameras. They're called stack sensors. So they shoot 30 photos a second. So you can imagine at the end of the day what I ended up with Carolyn.
We had 10,000 photos once for one gallery.
Crazy. I think with you, I think the biggest change in that I noticed was when we changed to the more editorial style of photography, and that you just love it and your passion for it.
Yeah, it's my flavour. I think because I love people. I've always been a people person, and I've always, I think the intricacies of the human condition intrigue me, and I feel like through the camera, it's really easy to capture that. And I don't think it's not so much about me standing there and posing you and making you smile fakely. It's about me talking to you and engaging with you and being friends with you, and in that context, shooting you in ways that captures your true personality, your true relationship with your partner. And I love that. It's a real buzz for me. And it took me time to work into that, because I really felt when we started that there was this, I had to be posing, and I had to be staid, and it had to be traditional, and it just never sat right with me. And I feel like since I was brave enough to step out into my own, I found my own flavour in that, and it's something I really love to do.
Good. Okay, so what is your favourite lens and why?
Okay, I definitely like to shoot long, which means that I'm further away from my subject. And so my absolute favourite lens is 85mm or 112mm.
Yeah. We don't expect our viewers to know what that is, but...
It just means that I don't have to be in your face when I'm taking photos. I can be more, it suits the editorial style a lot better, because you'll be more natural and comfortable with your partner, or getting ready if you don't have a camera smack bang in your face. So I feel like for me, it suits my flavour really well. I can shoot a whole wedding on an 85.
Yep, love it.
And not to mention the background separation, depth of field.
Yeah. So what's background separation?
So it's where the subject is separated from the background. So I always like to tell the team, I'm really big on, I want our photos to be different to what you could take on an iPhone. An iPhone, just really super quickly, has two sensors in it, so front and back. So it exposes for the subject and exposes for the background. So quite often you can take a photo of a view or a vista, and you'll have the person in front and the background in focus and in colour, but it all kind of melds together. The subject of the photo is part of the background. There's no separation. So background separation is where the subject is pulled away from the background a little bit, whether the background's a little bit blurry, or you have light balls known as bokeh. It creates more definition, and therefore the eye is naturally drawn to the subject, which is telling the story of the photo.
So on an iPhone, what it will do, it will actually, it's actually not real background separation. It will actually cut you out and then use some technology to make the background look blurry. Whereas the lenses will do that for real. The glass will make that happen for real.
Yeah, and it's more of a, you can see it's more of a true background separation. Whereas the iPhones, you can actually see it on some photos that it's artificial.
Yeah. And yeah, I just want to add to one subject of iPhones. iPhone photo quality, camera photo quality, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Right? So if you think you can get good photos on your iPhone, maybe, but...
I mean, and honestly, I think part of the times when you feel like you've got good photos on your iPhone, it's your memories. That's what people like. It's the subject matter of the photo that they're vibing with, you know. But we're talking about quality. We're talking about, do you want to get your photos printed? Do you want to have them on canvas? Do you
Colours.
have the colours that are timeless, that are true, you know, like all of these factors. And you've got to understand the amount of time that goes into creating a lens and the amount of money that's in the glass of the lens to create that look of your photo is just something that no matter how smart phones get, will never be able to replicate, even down because of the size. You got it like a sensor in a camera is that big, a sensor in a phone is
minuscule,
that big, even smaller.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Good. We're getting a bit technical now.
We are.
Right, my turn.
Okay.
Come on, interview me.
Okay, so over the past 3 years, 4 years, we've travelled far and wide for weddings. What's your favourite venue and why?
I love all the venues.
But?
But I was just thinking about this recently. I'd probably say Coolabah Downs at the moment, or Cedar Creek Lodges, just because we do so many weddings there. I feel almost at home, like it's my second home, because I'm there every other week or every week, and I just know it so well. Brannell, Homestead as well. There's just so many that we go to quite regularly, and I just feel it's almost part of the furniture, I'd say.
I love personally, I love all of our venues. I love New Farm Park and the Powerhouse Museum. I
haven't actually shot there. You do that. Yeah. That's your specialty.
Because it suits my editorial vibe. It's, I don't know, there's so much scope there. You go water, you can go industrial, you can go nature, you can do anything there. And probably the only downside I don't like about New Farm Park is the rotunda, because there's only one access in and out. And if you get married on like a Saturday or a Sunday, it's very busy, so you get photo bombs. But even in that, there's still ways to shoot around the photo bombs with people.
Sorry, guys, I'm just checking that we're still in focus. Right, your turn.
I just asked you what your favourite venue was. And why.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Coolabah Downs.
There you go.
All right. So, when you go on a photo shoot, what other equipment do you take and why?
Batteries, because no batteries can't.
I'm thinking more creative style.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't as much, but if I was really wanting to flavour it up a bit, I'd take some smoke bombs. I also will occasionally take a bottle of champagne. I do love a good sparkler photo, a long exposure. So I really love it when our clients are like, yeah, we've got time, let's go do some night photography. That's really fun, but you need time and you need not to be drunk for that. Obviously, in terms of equipment, always my harness. I'm a lot, like, especially if we're having to go between locations quite quickly. My batteries, I'll always have spare SD cards up my sleeve.
Yep.
And I will always have spare lenses.
So different lenses for different scenarios.
Yeah. I have 4 lenses that I always have on me that I rotate through. So, for example, I will use a 35-85 combo for getting ready and the beginning of the ceremony. Sometimes, depending on the ceremony, like layout, I'll switch to my 35-112 because I get a longer reach if I can't get close to the front, like in a big church wedding. And then obviously the 35 is wide, so I can do my group photos. I switch back to my 85 for couples. And then for reception, I like to shoot on a 50 because it's a good kind of split the difference. But again, if we're doing speeches and I can't get as close as I like, I'll switch to a tighter lens.
Awesome.
And snacks and water and comfy shoes and sunscreen.
For me, it's a good spotlight. I love my spotlight
Yeah.
for first dance. Oh, I put us out of focus. New camera, got to sort it out.
Spotlight?
Spotlight. Yeah, I love the spotlight. So there's so much you can do with it. Night photography.
Yeah.
It's really good for the first dance. There's lots of different things you can do with it.
See, I do like the spotlight, but I let my video boys set it up and then I just use it.
Yeah.
I do have low light lenses, so I tend to, I do use flash, but I am not a huge fan of the really white blown out look. I do prefer a softer look. So sometimes I won't use flash and I'll just shoot off a low light lens because my camera system at the moment's quite really good at handling quite high ISO in low light.
Yeah. Viewers don't know what that is, but technical thing, so don't worry about it. Right, my
Okay.
turn. Interview me.
Okay, I have 2 more questions for you. Okay, you've got one more question
I've got
for
one
me.
more, okay.
Yep. Okay, what is your ultimate secret for taking the best possible photo?
Secret? I'm not giving away any secrets.
Oh, help our viewers out.
Okay, so I just think there's a number of factors when it comes. It depends what type of photo. So, you know, if we're shooting outside, what time of
selfie.
a
How do I
selfie?
take the best selfie? How do I look good?
Okay, so you just got to think what your best angle is. So you think Instagram, yeah. Most people look good like this. Okay,
Turning your chin.
turning your chin. There's all
Down.
sorts of things.
We all have a good side.
But my thing is definitely posing and getting good angles. That's
Yeah.
what I feel I'm good at.
So just think of this. I'll give you one layer secret. Whatever's closest to the camera will appear bigger. So if I stand like this straight onto the camera and I have no movement in my body, my whole body just looks bigger. But if you turn, if you create movement, if you drop your shoulder, you can create a bit of an S line. Yep.
Right, my turn. Last question. Just wait till Kat comes in.
Did you Google best questions to ask?
No.
I feel like you did.
No, I did
feel
not.
like you went on a website.
No.
And
I made
Googled-
these up myself.
You Googled best questions to ask a photographer, didn't you?
No.
Yes,
no.
you did. Go on, hit me with the last one.
No.
on.
Okay, this is an important one because this is your thing, okay?
Yep.
It's what you in charge of a lot of, okay? What kind of tools do you use for the post-processing
Oh,
of photos? And what's your workflow like?
okay. Not going to give too much away, but I will say this. I don't use AI.
Why?
Well, I'm aware of it. I have used it. Like, I've played with it. I know what's out there. You've got things like Imagine. You've got Photoshop Beta. You've got a lot of stuff there. But I think and I do really feel that AI has a place for things. But I do feel like there's real art in editing a photo and being able to have an eye for it. And I think using too much AI in editing, you lose a skill of knowing what's a good photo, what is not a good photo, and looking for things. So we don't use AI. We do use Lightroom for our post-processing. Yeah, Lightroom. We use Pixieset to deliver our galleries to our clients.
What is Pixieset?
Pixieset is an online gallery that we upload all of our finished work to. You can download the high-res and the low-res version of photos directly to your computer through a zip file.
Beautiful. Right. Last question for me. Bring it on.
Okay. I'll answer this one too, but you're going to go first.
This
What?
is about me.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I won't share it then.
No, you
What
can.
is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on a wedding?
Gosh. Embarrassing. I know what yours is.
No.
I'm trying to think. Can you think of anything?
When you knelt down to take the ring shot at the front and your pants fell down, everyone saw your bum.
Oh, actually, I do remember what it is. Okay. So, I'm going to cut the bum thing out because that's too rude for this podcast.
No, it's not. You leave it in.
So what happened was I was setting up the rings, the couple's actual rings, okay? The wedding rings. I was setting them up, getting them ready. And then Carolyn comes over. Don't you drop those?
Over the side of from
And
quite
then and then I dropped them over the side off a building into the bushes below. And I was like mortified, but Huey, God bless him, jumped over and found them
He
straight
did.
away.
He
And I
ninja'd
was-
it.
Can you imagine going to someone's wedding and losing their rings?
I know.
And one of the things I'm very wary of is, like, I do not want to be the first photographer to back into a cake and knock it over.
Exactly, me too.
Yeah, you're definitely answering this. Go on.
Okay, so I have two. First one was when I slid down a muddy hill in the middle of the ceremony, and the celebrant stopped the ceremony to ask me if I was okay.
And the funny thing was, I knew you were going to do it beforehand.
But come on, to be fair, it was in the middle of the O'Reilly's National
Because
Forest.
two people slipped, didn't they?
And it had been raining, and it was very mud. There was no cement. And the second one was when I forgot to turn my phone on silent in the middle of a ceremony, and my phone rang. And Jay, married by Jay, was the celebrant. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I pressed him.
that was naughty.
That was so embarrassing. I hid out the back, like I managed to hide before anyone turned around and could see who it was. But yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, we've been very real today, guys.
we are. Yep.
Get to know us.
Hope you've learned a
So
little
you
bit more
hope
about
hope
us.
you've enjoyed it today, and yeah, long ones.
Oh, actually, I will say something, one question we get asked a lot, and I'm sure you guys, everyone that, all our new viewers that are watching will probably ask the same thing. No, we're not married.
No,
No, we're not in a relationship.
no.
He has a wife. I have a husband. They're related. They're brother and sister.
That's it.
So
We'll tell our story, won't we, another time?
another time. But people always assume that we're married. We're not. We're just super close, own a business together, and our spouses are brother and sister.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Any more questions, ask them below.
Yep,
We'll do our story at some point.
yep. And we'll catch you next week.